to the streets of River City. I've been wanting to see a follow-up to River City Ransom for years and years and years. Being an avid and very die-hard fan of the original back whenever it came out on NES, back in fucking 1990. 1990, dude, that was 23 years ago. That's fucking mind-boggling to think about. But anyway, back in 1990, whenever the game came out, it was big shit to people like me. We actually had it in my house, and I can tell you, I've played through that game gazillions of fucking times with my friends. It's one of the best co-op games I can think of on the NES, and that's really the truth. If you ever sit down, plop your ass into a couch, hand another NES controller to a friend, and start playing through River City Ransom, you'll find one of the best beat-em-ups you're ever going to play. I mean, they re-released and they remade it on Game Boy Advance, you know, I forget how many years back, but it just, you know, it didn't have the co-op, so it wasn't the same exact experience. And I was just like, damn, I really miss playing that shit. You know, it was such an epic game. It really was. I mean, you're running around throughout all these different streets within your local area, and you're just beating the shit out of all these gangs that are, you know, a part of your school and stuff like that. And you're clobbering the living fuck out of them, and it's like an RPG where you're actually gaining experience points, you're getting money so you can go and buy equipment and go and heal your stuff, and, you know, you can go and boost up your attack for your punch and your kick, your throw, for when you're using weapons. And there's weapons galore, whether they're scattered about on the ground, you're picking up something like a garbage can and just fucking beating somebody over the head with it, which makes me think about ECW, which would be really cool if it was just flashing ECW, ECW, ECW. But they also had really kick-ass co-op moves where, you know, you and the person that you're running around with can go and do some tag team moves and do some really kick-ass shit. You can learn new moves from, you know, you get money and you go and you learn new moves that you're able to obtain, like, while you're running around and stuff. But it was a really deep game. Was it an extremely long game? No, you can actually run through it pretty damn quick, but because they had the RPG aspect to it, you found yourself playing it for hours on end, like, I mean, fully invested. And while it's not an extremely difficult game, it was just fun. And that's all that you really want out of a game, right? You just want to be entertained and have a good time, and River City Ransom did that. And, you know, I put it up there with the likes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project. I put it up there with other beat-em-ups I can think of, like Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3, The Simpsons arcade game, X-Men arcade game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, or Turtles in Time, and countless other beat-em-ups. It can even go toe-to-toe with current beat-em-ups whenever you think about them, kind of like, I don't know, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or Castle Crashers, and stuff like that. You know, this is something, as a matter of fact, if you see gameplay footage of this, you know, graphically, it reminds you of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World in a really good way, too. I mean, that's something I'm just like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And I've always fancied sprite work. I mean, you know, I can always see something and be like, oh man, that looks so awesome, it's so realistic, and blah, blah, blah. But sprite work, for some reason, whether it was my upbringing on 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit games and stuff like that, you know, whether it was console or an arcade, but seeing stuff like that, I have like this vast appreciation for it, whether it's like in a game or like somebody's just doing actual art of it. But when I see that, I'm just like, that looks so awesome, and it just looks amazing to me, especially when it's got real fluid animation and stuff like that. So, I don't know, I'm a stickler for stuff like that. But we have the opportunity to be able to get a true follow-up sequel to River City Ransom right now. In the description, naturally, I'm going to have the Kickstarter for it, you know, and you can go and check that out. And if you're wondering anything about these guys, you got to give them credit for one thing. They actually backed the Mighty Number 9 project, so that should give them a fucking thumbs up right there, and the Shanti one as well. So I was just like, that's pretty fucking cool. But they're trying to make a true follow-up, so naturally, a bigger world, more detailed characters, much bigger environments and stuff like that. The AI will obviously be a lot smarter as you go and progress through the game. You'll have a ton more moves. The game will be co-op, which is really nice, because not only will it be just regular couch co-op, but online co-op, which is extremely awesome. And you get to take control of the original two characters, Alex and Ryan, from the original River City Ransom. You know, 23 years later, they're running some auto parts place, and they're going up against the villain and the bad guy of the original River City Ransom, Slick. So, you know, this is a true sequel. It has all the right ingredients. And it just makes me happy seeing, like, those little 8-bit characters now in 2013, you know, they're grizzled veterans and they're still out to go and kick the living shit out of people. They haven't lost a single step. As a matter of fact, they seemingly have gained new ones. And it's something, like, whenever I'm thinking about this and talking about it, like, I'm smiling a bunch because it truly makes me happy. I mean, I seriously have played this game a ton of different times with friends. Like, I've tossed in my NES and sat down for a night, you know, me and a friend would just drink and we'd play through it, you know, and it's one of those things, like, kill a couple hours but have a ton of fun. And that's what beat 'em ups to me are all about. Just sit down with a friend and play through this and beat the shit out of some characters. You know, I love that to death. And I commend these guys for wanting to go and back a project like this, and a lot of them are like my age, so I'm sure that they've grown up with this game, and they've wanted to go and see this move forward. They want to see it go and explode out, and they want to see this go and be put out on the market for other people to go and check out. You know, and that's one of the nice things. And if anybody's watching this like, oh, River City Ransom, I haven't actually heard of that. Go get a ROM. Go get it off the Virtual Console on the Wii. Go get River City Ransom EX. Go get the NES card. Get anything that you can. Just play the game, and you'll understand why I'm actually making a big fuss about it, you know. It's, especially if you look at it for what it was back in its day, it was really ahead of the curve. It truly was. I mean, this wasn't no bare bones, just fucking go from point A to point B. I mean, it was awesome, you know. And again, it holds up with all the other really kick-ass beat-em-ups of back in the day. I mean, you know, if I played Double Dragon 2, which I love to death, if I played Double Dragon 2, then played River City Ransom, I can put them on the same exact level because they're both badass as shit. You know, and River City Ransom is just a really deep game. It's just, it seriously is. So, a project like this, you know, it harkens to back in the day, and we've seen a revival of a lot of old school games being put out onto modern consoles and given like the HD treatment and stuff like that. You know, we've seen recently Mickey Mouse Castle Illusion. We've gotten to see DuckTales Remastered recently. You know, this is stuff that I like seeing so long, and is they're taking care of the original. They're not trying to stray away from it. Like, pull a fucking Hollywood, like, well, we know best, and we're just gonna butcher the living shit out of it and just slap that fucking familiar name on it, but it's nothing like it. No, they seem to actually take really good care of stuff like this, and that makes me happy, and River City Ransom Underground is no exception to this rule. You know, everything that I've seen so far, I can give a big enthusiastic thumbs up, and that's why I want to go and talk about it, you know, in video form, and let other people know about it. And if you're a beat-em-up fan, or if you're a fan of River City Ransom, or retro games, or anything like that, tell other people about this. Seriously, go and post the Kickstarter wherever you can, the information about it. Just let people know about it. I mean, it would be fucking awesome to see this shit hit consoles. I know that they need over 200-something thousand to go and hit consoles. That's what I'm going to strive for. I want to see something like this. And to get the game, you have to pledge 15 bucks. That's it. 15 bucks to go and get potentially one of the coolest beat-em-ups that you're going to play in recent memory. I think is more than worth the price of admission. So fuck it, why not? And again, I want to go and say thank you to the guys that are working their asses off on this. This is just, it seriously makes me happy because it's one of those games that still has its niche following, even to this day. And I just want to see more people get into the original game, let alone go and support something awesome as fuck like this. And there's never been a time where I was like, I'm going to go and back a project just for shits and giggles. No, it's always something that I truly, wholeheartedly, 100% give a shit about a whole bunch. I mean, Pure Solar, I want to go and support a whole bunch. Mighty Number 9, I want to support a whole bunch. You know, some of the other projects, and this, you know, this can go right along with those as projects. It's like, yes, I do actually give a shit a whole bunch about this. I want to see it happen, so make it happen. Make it happen, Captain! So, anyway, there's all the news, there's all the information and stuff like that. So, anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always. Nerds, nerdettes, and gamers, game the fuck on. And remember, when you're in the middle of a fight and you're getting the shit kicked out of you, don't just randomly yell, "Barf!" Because, you know, that's going to be really embarrassing, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, there goes the egg salad I ate earlier, and everybody's just gonna look at you shamefully. You have a fucking black eye, bloody lip, missing a tooth, and egg salad all over your jeans and all over your boots. Yeah. If you have played River City Ransom, this probably went over your head.